Today, it's been 4 days since 4 University of Idaho students were found dead in a house near campus. The small, tight-knit community of Moscow and the entire state of Idaho really are left searching for answers as to how and why this happened.
Earlier today, the Latah County Coroner released the results of the autopsies on all 4 victims. The coroner says Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonzalez were all stabbed to death. Their deaths were officially ruled homicide murders. And yesterday, police did speak to media for the first time since this happened on Sunday. They answered some questions in a news conference, but there are still a lot of unknowns and many questions left to be answered, including the identity of the killer or killers and where they might be now. So in the meantime, students and people in the area say they do not feel safe even yet. News Channel 7's Abby Davis is live in Moscow. And Abby, you've been talking to the people who live on and near the U of I campus. What is the feeling up there tonight?
Well, Brian and Morgan, people are just devastated, and you can see behind me, you can see that crime scene tape blocking off the entrance there. Just 2 hours ago, this whole parking lot in front of the house was filled with law enforcement cars. Now you can see that's no longer the case. There is still an ISP officer back there in his car. But the students I talked with say they aren't feeling particularly safe knowing whoever did this is still out there. University of Idaho students aren't taking any chances.
Stick with a friend.
That's what students like Abby Peterson say, as police try to track down the person who killed 4 of their peers over the weekend.
I do get to leave soon for fall break, so that's also really comforting.
The official report says Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonzalez were all stabbed to death. Their deaths have all officially been ruled homicide murder. U of I's Dean of Students, Blaine Eccles, says he's devastated.
This is absolutely horrific.
Latah County Coroner Kathy Mabbitt says she has no way of knowing if the same knife was used on all 4 victims.
It was definitely a knife. It would seem like if there was more than one, it was very similar, if not just the same one for all of them.
She cannot speak to defensive wounds and can't specify an exact time of death because it was reported so late. Here's what we do know.
We have learned that Ethan and Xana were at a party on campus, and Madison and Kaylee were at a downtown bar. They arrived home sometime after 1:45.
But the timeline after that is still murky. Moscow Police Chief James Fry said during a news conference Wednesday afternoon, officers responded to a 911 call about an unconscious person on Sunday around noon. When they got to the house on King Road near U of I's campus, they found the 4 students dead.
There was no sign of forced entry into the residence.
Fry also said 2 roommates were home when it happened. He didn't go so far as to call them witnesses and says they were not hurt. Investigators are still collecting evidence.
Our goal is to provide safety for this community.
That includes increasing the number of law enforcement around town, especially on campus.
I think most students are trying to figure out how to navigate and get through the rest of the semester.
I feel like the campus is relatively safe. I know I'm trying to convince myself that it is.
I'm just going to try and always stick with a buddy when I'm walking around and just always play it safe, and that's all I can really do.
Now, just to reiterate, police say they don't have a suspect or suspects or a description. Now, we do know that there is a behavioral analysis unit of the FBI helping out on this case, helping create profiles of unknown offenders. But as of right now, law enforcement are asking community members, anyone who has any sort of information, to call that tip line. I will read that number now. It is 208-883-7180, 208-883-7180. But Brian and Morgan, right now, for all those students who are so deeply affected by this tragedy, there's free counseling sessions available, safe walk programs available as well. So the Dean of Students did let me know and did assure me that there are resources provided.
Okay, Abby, that's good to hear. And, you know, students are heading home for fall break. A lot of them already left.
A lot of them, yes.
Some of them leaving today or tomorrow as well for that week off. So.
Exactly. Some might stick around as they usually do, so hopefully we'll seek out some resources should they need it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Abby.